Hey class, Mrs. Lowe here again to do some more practice with factoring. I got this problem from a great website called kutasoftware.com, and they've got lots of extra practice problems for all types of math concepts, everywhere from Algebra 1 to calculus. So this is a great place to find practice problems. So we're going to factor this particular problem. As you can see, it's a quadnomial, so we should first look for a GCF, which it doesn't have, and now we're going to factor by grouping. So I'm going to group the first two together, pull out the GCF, which is x squared, and I'm left with 4x minus 1. The sign that I bring down next is a minus, and the GCF of these two terms is 1, and I'm left with 4x minus 1. Remember, this factoring out a negative will change this sign, and you can check because a negative times a negative is a positive. Notice the red and the blue have a common factor of 4x minus 1, so I write that once. And the second factor is x squared minus 1. Well, you might think that you are done, but you are not, because this term here is also factorable. This is a special factor rule called a difference of squares. So this is called a difference of squares. And if you don't recognize this, you could also factor this by decomposition. But the formula for a difference of squares is to rewrite it as a squared minus b squared. So I can rewrite this as x squared minus 1 squared. A squared minus b squared. And when factored, you factor difference of squares to a minus b, a plus b. And the order of these factors does not matter. And if you were to multiply this back out, you would see that the middle term does indeed cancel out, and you'd be left with x squared minus 1. So sometimes you're not quite finished. You need to make sure that the factors that you've created don't have additional factors. And in this case, x squared minus 1 was also factorable, so you have to keep going for it to be considered completely factored. So our final answer is 4x minus 1, x minus 1, x plus 1. Thanks.